Good morning, family, and anybody else that's out there. I'm saying a little prayer and offering this great, beautiful project that my daughter Bridget has thought of. And I'm saying a little prayer right now to offer that prayer. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, amen. And this, I dedicate my project of my stories of my life to the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And I ask them to bless this project and help me with the sharing of my stories and my experiences. And it's pure joy that I'm experiencing. And I think that is a beautiful thing for my daughter Bridget to invite me to do this project. So this we ask in the name of Jesus and his Holy Family. Amen. Okay? All right. I didn't get to go into the last segment to check out my notes because my computer is on the blink. That's the story of all our lives, I guess. But I have my other notes, so okay. I'm continuing my live history on Bowser. Until I get to the age of, well, when we moved to go to Gooding Pride. But I like to say this about the fantastic pictures that Bridget is. I shared with Bridget, and she has them. So Bridget, you got to get out those 8x10 pictures because they're fabulous. It's like when you go to an art museum. And I was a docent for one day for a junior league for one of the museums in San Antonio. It is a lot of detail. It is a lot of memorization. And I went, okay, I'm mother 5 and doing all I do. I don't feel like studying this, so I didn't. But I learned from that experience and what it is. You can look at a painting, you can look at a picture, and you're not, what are you looking at? Well, I looked and I saw stories of those pictures. So that's what we need, Bridget, is to get my take on the history and what you need to look at and observe from those pictures. Okay? So we'll do that. That'll be another little segment. But I just, I was going to comment on one of the pictures, but I might as well comment because it means it to all the pictures. The pictures are always fantastic to see with all the ways that Mom dressed us. And their new dresses, and I love the way you can't say, for the guys, well, okay, outfits. Mom dressed them in outfits. The only funny thing about this is that one of the pictures that I see, and I felt, I'm in the front row, is Eileen is on my left, and she's wearing a beautiful flowered, kind of a black taffeta dress, okay? And then there's me in the middle, and I'm wearing, it's always blue, I'm wearing a cotton dress, okay? I'm feeling my dress, and I'm feeling hers. And then Ursula is next to me, and she's wearing a peach flowered taffeta dress. So I kind of, all of what you can think of when, and I'm about 5 years old, is, oh, that feels nice. And then when I looked at Ursula's, I went, well, next year, I'll get it. I'll get that dress. And the funny story about this story is, I never got that dress. And the only way I can think of it, as I think of it now in my adult age, is that, are you ready for this? Mother gave it to the poor. She gave it to the poor. She was cleaning out and she gave it to them. So that's okay. I never got my chapter dress, but guess what? I got it now. So that's okay. But that's what's so cute about these pictures when you start singing these.
Didn't I have a peach taffeta dress? Semi-formals?
Something like that, Bridge. It
We're
has to be
reliving it.
yes, exactly. So that I had to mention that right now because this is kind of the end of the beginning of this next segment that I was talking about. But I want the other thing is observing the socks of this one picture and observing the shoes. Now you have to do it all. You have to see it all. But anyway, I ended up saying so Catholic in our faith that it seemed that our daddy's motto would it's my dad would say, God will provide. And by gosh, he did. Every picture that we have. So they're all professionally done. I don't know who the photographer was, but uh, one another comment. When we looked at the photographer, we don't know who he is. And he's telling us to smile, and you can see all of us looking at him. And I'm going to show you what we looked at when we looked at him. And he said, smile. He go, he didn't. He says, now I know y'all are a fun group. And he loosened us up. So then that's when we kind of smiled a little bit. But we were like zombies up there. This strange guy, that's what the feeling is. So, and I was a flirt. I like to flirt with anybody and have fun with anybody, but boy, when a strange photographer comes in, then it finally got us to at least have a semi-smile. That's what you have to observe in these pictures when you see it. And it's always lined up in every age way, that's what it was always the way it was. Let's see, what is it? One of the things, the fun and games all the time that we played in and out of the house, and we never to worry about food, never clothes. No, we just got a new dress for the next season. I never asked for anything. Do you understand that? I never said, well, I'm going to tell you about that ask. In a minute, you're going to like this story. No, mother was there. She was incredible how she provided, with God's help, of course, and charging it to dad, which is another thing she did. Oh, mom did not write a check. She did not have a credit card. But all she did when she went to the grocery store or the beauty shop or whatever, she just signed the receipt, Frances McCaffrey. And Dad had Patsy as his secretary. And I think Mother might have been, she would have done this. And she would have called Patsy and said, well, the store needs to pay for this bill or something like that to remind Patsy. That's how transaction happened in my Mother's Day, okay? But we were blessed with faith, health, and happiness. That was a beautiful feeling I have for my mother and my dad. We are going to talk, we're going to continue on the Bowser story, okay? The thing that's on our living room, when you have a living room, you have the furniture all back up, you have the kind of space in the middle. So we had over there in the corner is a radio, and Daddy let us listen to the radio. So you can see, can you picture the radio, and you have to turn it as little loud as you can. And there's about seven of us at least, and maybe we're not there, and we're all on our tummies, and we're listening to the radio. And of course, I'm up one of the front ones because I wanted to be really knowing and hearing this. And one of my favorite radio shows, we call them shows, was about mysteries. I couldn't believe this. They would talk about these mysteries of who shot who and who killed what, and we loved them. And that was like once a week we got to do that. Maybe it was probably maybe 7 o'clock at night or something. But Mother loved it. Quiet. We were quiet and listening to this radio. And that was my favorite I don't think I had any other radio announcement. Of course, they're always radio announcing the weather or whatever. We didn't do that. The other thing is when I became old enough, and I think I'm old enough about, I would say maybe 5 years old, but maybe they started it a little bit earlier than I did because the older ones were older. So I finally got into the audience of sitting down and listening to. It's called the Christophers. It's interesting that I remember that, and I Googled it, and it's a religious program that Father James Keller, who was can't think of what his order was. It's MM. I have to look it up again. But in 1945, he was the founder of this program, and it was the Christians meant Christ bearer. So his motto he chose, it was a Chinese proverb, it's better to light one candle than curse the darkness. And that was a very popular motto saying, and everybody knew it. That would start listening to Father Keller's program. So it was his formula, it says, was a focus on personal responsibility to motivate men and women, all walks of life, to bring Judeo-Christian principles to bear on the world around them. And that's one of our programs that we watch. Of course, then there again, that with Daddy or not with Daddy, they all love that we participated in listening to that program. The other one was, and this is a special person in our lives, was Father Patrick Payton. And he was the one that started the family rosary. And the family that prays together stays together was his motto. And he came from New York, Albany, New York. And interesting that it is, he was a guest in our house. And he gave us all rosaries, including the ones that, like me, that were younger and, couldn't probably say the rosary. Maybe I was saying the rosary by that time. And he knelt down, and instead of the radio, here we are going to go to the radio to hear him talk, and he's in our living room. Anyway, Dad would say, "No, you don't have to turn and listen to it. No, come over here. Father's right here. He's going to help us say the rosary." And we said the rosary to this priest, Father Payton, very famous and his program started in 1947. The other thing that was interesting is I don't have this for sure, but I know Dad, my father, was president of the what do you call it? The club that helped provide parents to help develop programs or their sons to become priests. What is the name of that club? It's still in existence. Okay, I didn't write it down. But Daddy was president. Well, of course, I want you to know something else. When I get to my father, and I'll have a segment for him, he was president of everything. So that was just natural. But he must have had a speaker, him as being a speaker. So we had to remember the name. And said, "Well, Father, would you mind coming to my house tonight and seeing him visit with my family?" And knowing my dad, like I know him, he didn't prepare Father Payton about how many he was going to see. And I think I'm joyful just knowing how my daddy was such a joker that he would do that. And not saying a word, opening the door, and then all these kids running up. We were friendly, running up, hugging them, and he. I know his eyes get so big, but we didn't know any of this. I'm just supposing that's what happened, and we really enjoyed it. But getting to the talk on asthma, I gave a whole segment. I wrote a whole segment on how many asthma attacks I had in my life, and I touched on some already when I was younger. But my asthma continued in my adult life, and I just want you to know one of the treatments of asthma in my day was the enema. And if you look up enema, okay, E-N-E-M-Y, enema, E-N-E-M-A, and my mother would give me this treatment, and it's an injection of warm fluid into your lower bowel by way of your rectum. And every time I had an asthma attack, that's what I got from my mother. So I don't know that I'd love to talk to a doctor about that, because I was supposed to get cleaned out, and somehow that helped relieve the pressure, I guess, of my lungs, and of course, I got well. So my last enema treatment that I got from my mother was on Good and Dry, and since we moved in there when I was 15, I had my last enema treatment from my mother at 15. So that's kind of, older. And I trusted my mother. She, never was I. Yeah, I would lay down and I knew what to do, and she helped me. So never was I embarrassed. Never was I. I knew that I needed help, and she was there for me. So that's the treatment I wanted. I wanted all of you all to know. But I'm going into the asthma attack. Of course, I talked to you about the fourth grade, I think, having an attack, and when I was at Medici school. And then in high school, that was the attack that I had, and I think I even touched on that. So high school, probably 2 or 3 times in 4 years in high school. And they would always take me to the clinic, and they give me something, I guess something that the parents would recommend, I would think. So I would sleep the rest of the day, and it would wake me up. And when I went home, I never talked to my mother that I had an attack. I just didn't bother her. But this is in our retreat. Oh, that's going to be another story. A senior retreat at Medici, which all the seniors, Ursula went, Joanne went, and I don't know what Joanne's class, but Ursula's class 2 years before us, and it was across the lake, and it was the 3rd story of this real huge home, and they made it for the dorm students that were students, girls from other countries. That so they had a bathroom like. Well, I don't even want to talk about it right now. I'll tell you about that. I'm going to make a note. But the other time that I had an attack was in college. This is really interesting because Eileen and I are freshmen in college, and this really happened. There's a sandstorm. Okay, so this sand is coming into the windows. Obviously, I'm allergic to that. What transpires is Eileen's in my room was the first room next to the hall telephone, and that hall telephone was a little room. This is a building of 18 something, which is the same building that my mother was in when she was a freshman at Incarnate Word College. DuBois Hall. Isn't that funny? I remember one of the founders of the Incarnate Word Nuns. And it came from Bishop DuBois. Anyway, this Eileen wakes me up. I'm asleep. I'm trying to sleep. And Eileen is waking me up. Hurry, you're having a wheezing attack. What do I do? And I went, what do you do? What do I do? And so Eileen says, I don't know. The phone rang. You won't believe this. Eileen answers the phone, and Al says, is Angela okay? Now, hello? No one called her. No one. We haven't done anything yet. And Eileen says, hurry, get here quick, Al. We got to take Angela to the hospital. She's wheezing. She has a wheezing attack, asthma attack. So Al, of course, borrowed a car, came in. Thank God, Sister Geralda, our dorm proctor, was not around. She's at Mass. And Al tried the front door, and this is what I know he had to do. He went in the side door where the nuns go out and in. He came right into our room. I mean, knocked on our door in the hallway, and Eileen answers the door, and I'm dressed by that time. and Eileen says, "Come on, let's go." Not even questioning, Al has the gall to walk in the girls' dorm and do what he did. Anyway, we get in the car. He takes me to Santa Rosa Hospital. We get the treatment that I'm used to, and they staying out in the lobby. And then I come and I'm feeling better. I could have been an hour or something. They had to wait. Al drops us off. He goes back to St. Mary's. Still today, I do not understand. I understand now what my faith has taught me. But then I didn't understand how he got the message. And you let it go. I mean, you're in school, you let it go, and you really visit this. And then you ask later on, you ask, Al, do you remember that, what you did? He says, yeah, I remember. I don't know what made me do that. I called and I did. So God's grace on us, okay? But the other attack I had was at Fort Bliss. Same thing, and we're in El Paso. There is a dust storm. I don't think I don't know when it happened, whether I was pregnant or not. But Al knew what to do because he helped me before. I went to the hospital and got into the treatment, and then he came home. And I guess, and then Al had to go back and be the general's assistant. What do you call it? General Melnick. Al was in that office with him. And that's a beautiful story too. I wanted to talk about later, maybe. But I must have cleaned up the mess, because I mean, I'm breathing back now, okay? And I just got the dust off, got the vacuum cleaner off. The other time that I can remember, and in between this, maybe I had another one, I don't know, but these are called major asthma attacks. They're not just light things. They're really, hardcore stuff. So the other one was, I was 45 years old, and I was going to the Y, and all of a sudden I was doing that triathlete course, and I'm going to have to swim 1,000 yards. So I thought what I'd do is practice. Is what I was going to do. So I was doing this, and then I got an asthma attack that night. So really bad. And so I said, "What do we do?" And I said, "Well, let's go to the doctor on this, because this is crazy. I'm about 45 years old. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't have this." So we got an appointment with the doctor, fortunately, and he says, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" No, I think we did go to the hospital, because I mean, I have to have help right away. And then I got the appointment, and then the doctor says, "What's going on? What are you doing that's different?" And I said, "Well, I'm swimming at the Y." And he says, "No, not at the Y." And I said, "Well, what's wrong with the Y?" "They have the most chlorine in their water. You're allergic to chlorine. You can't get your nose near chlorine, and much less, you shouldn't even be in the swimming pool area, because you can smell chlorine." Oh my God, I didn't know this. So that's when I got a machine, and you can put some kind of liquid in it, and put the mask on and breathe, and then turn off the machine, and that medicine, of course, it was prescription, okay? So I did that, and he said, "Now here's the key to this machine. Don't do it. Try to wait till at least after 3 hours, and it's better to hold it until you get to the 4th hour." Well, I'm holding it, and I'm back wheezing again. No, so it'd be like 3 hours and 15 minutes. I'm sorry. Then I do it, the treatment. That would help me tremendously. And I have this new machine. By the way, I came across the machine. I have it. So anyone, you need to see this machine. It's what you need to see. I don't know how to
Is it
do it.
albuterol?
Huh?
Was it albuterol? Or
Probably, yeah, that sounds like it. I
yeah,
don't know, Bridge. I don't know. Yeah.
there's like an
But
N word and an albuterol.
okay, that may be it. The other thing is, this happened about Christmas time in December. I can't believe this. I'm fine in January, I'm fine February, March, April, and then I go all the way to December. All of a sudden, I get this asthma attack. So I go get the doctor, the same doctor. He says, "Oh, now you're allergic to cedar." And I said, "There's cedar all around us, and now mostly hill country, whatever." But he says, Angela, I hate to tell you this, but you might just have this seasonal. Every December you're going to get this, but I don't want you to. I want you to forget it. I want you to just keep on with your life and just see how well you do. And he didn't tell me the other bad story. The other bad story, in case you all didn't know this, is I was geared towards emphysema. And I found this out going to a lung doctor later, that he gave me a pneumonia shot. And he says, it's a good thing you should have had this like 10 years ago, this pneumonia shot. Because that's another thing about this asthma developing in your in older age. Can I tell you there again, the Lord has blessed me again, because that was the last time I've had asthma. I have not had it since. So I don't know if that pneumonia shot helped with that or not, but it was great that it did. And then knowing my enema treatment, I didn't ask Al to give me enema treatment. I didn't think of it. When I would have thought of it, I would have said, "You're on duty, Buster," and I would have made him do it. That's the character I am. That's how strong I am. When I need help, I'm gonna get it. So, but I didn't think of it. So that's it. All right. I'm laughing at this. It wasn't funny when I grew up on this, but hey, I survived. Well, real quickly, knowing that I know that I was told swimming was very good. So when I was on the Hay Park swimming team, and then I was on the Highland Park swimming team. Ursula was on that team also when she was that age. But now I'm like 13 years old. And Eileen didn't go with me. Maybe she just didn't like it. But she was the best breaststroke swimmer. I never liked breaststroke. So she would win. I didn't even try out for breaststroke. I just didn't. She won first places in breaststroke at my sister Eileen. But here I am. I'm walking. I guess I told my mother. So I'm going at 7 in the morning, summer. I'm walking from Bowser, 7 8 blocks to Holy Trinity, another 8 blocks to Highland Park swimming pool. And I'm walking down the street, and this lady says, "All right, hello." And I went, "Oh," and she was watering her lawn. And I said, "Hi." And she said, "Aren't you McCaffrey?" And I went, "God, it shows all over you. You can't go anywhere. Everybody knows you're a McCaffrey." No wonder that saying that Daddy said, I remembered it. He says, "He's lined us all up. Now we're McCaffreys." So just know that your behavior is very important, that your Christian values you should take on and behave. And so, well, now I know, because people, just strangers, come up and say that. She said, where are you going? I said, "Well, I'm walking to a Highland Park swimming pool." And she says, "Well, would you like to ride a bike?" I said, "Would I?" Yes. I said, "Excuse me, who are you?" And she said, I think she was Mrs. Goldberg or Goldwyn or something like that. But she knew us. She knew my mother and father. She did. "I know your mom and father, your mom, Francis and Jim." And I said, "Well, what's with the bike?" And she says, "Well, I have to service it right now because it's got a flat tire. But I'll fix it up and you can borrow it. So you walk here to my house she said, how you go swimming every day? I said, well, I'm on a swimming team, so we're practicing in the morning. And she says, well, just that's what it is. She fixed it. And I rode the bike. Now, guess what, people? It's downhill. So how it was said, I don't even hardly pedal. Downhill, down around in the corner, and there you are. I'm doing my swim laps. And guess what? I have to ride up the hill. So it's strengthened my legs for a better kick. So I guess I was doing better because of that. But anyway, I dropped the bike up. Can I tell you that I have no memory of what happened to that bike? Did I lose it? Did I really bring it back to her? That's it. I did it, and it was one thing in my life. But I know I had swimming, and I kept doing it for the rest of the summer. I don't even know if anybody else, but I'm probably people. I'm 13 years old, and I'm by myself, and doing this and coming back home. And what you do when you come back home, no one welcomes you. No one says, "Where were you?" No. You just join in. What's next? And it's time to fix sandwiches for the breakfast lunch, and that's what you do. You just go on with your life. And never to be missed is not even thought of because you're having so much fun in your home. Your home, safe, joyful, and exciting. I hope I did that for my home, for our children. Come to think of it, I wonder if I did that. I gotta think about that. But I wanted to talk to you about that. And then the other thing is, let me see if I got it right. I'll talk to you about that. Okay, I have what time are we on? We're almost through. This is it. This is incredible. This is a story about getting out of school. My dad came and picked me up. He met me at the principal's office. I am a freshman in high school at Ursuline. Now I know I'm kind of upping this, but it's right, that note I want to talk about. And I said, okay, Dad, what did I do? You let your father come to the principal's office without, oh gosh. And hey, we're going on a little trip. We're going on a little mission that I have. Oh, okay. Where is Eileen coming? Oh no, just you and me. My dad took me out of school away from studies, which I was so happy about. And we went to the Pontiac dealership on Oakland Avenue, which is where Daddy bought his Pontiacs. He's always a Pontiac man. And he says, you're going to pick out the family car. Dad, I don't know about engines. He said, no, I want you, the color you want, whatever you want to pick. And I said, I don't know why he's doing this, but hey, there's a little thing back coming, okay, but I didn't know about it. Go ahead and pick it out. I picked out a lime green 2-seater car, and the seats would go up, and when you open the door, and the wide door, and then you could sit some in the back. So I think it was a 2-seater. I don't think it was a 4-seater. But anyway, it doesn't matter. A lime green car, and he says, "Is that you like that?" And I said, "Yeah, that's a new modern looking car, Dad." So okay, he said, "I'll take it." And I said, "Well, wait. Are you sure about this? You're getting?" "Yes, I am. I asked you to do me a favor, and you did it." And we didn't drive it home. We had the old car because we had to do all the paperwork or something. I don't think we drove it home. Who knows? But anyway, that night they serviced it and brought it to Dad, and they took Dad's old Pontiac away. Here's the little click. Our police. What do you say? The story behind the story. Wait, if I have to tell you anything in your life, when someone tells you a story, ask a question about the story. What motivated you? What was it? Because it's the most beautiful story that would end with me helping Daddy buy a car. Okay, so the story is 2 years later, freshman, junior year. No, sophomore. So okay, I'm just gonna say sophomore year. Yeah, I'm gonna say sophomore year. Daddy had a heart attack, and I'll tell you about that. That's going to be a part of his story. But it has everything to do with this car. I was my father's driver. I drove my father to work every morning in the summer. And it's downtown Dallas, and we're talking about 10 or 12 miles. Drop him off at his office on the curb, and then I'd drive home. And then I'd have to do my day. And then I get a call about maybe 5 or 6 o'clock p.m. And he would call me, come and pick me up. And I would go drive down Central Expressway, downtown Dallas. Oh, excuse me, I'm in Dallas, and pick my father up. Sometimes my father had a guest. So the guest would sit in the back. Daddy would always sit in front with me. And Daddy would say, Angel, tell me what you did today. And I would be talking. Of course, I know how to talk. And the two guys, Daddy and I probably was a priest or something like that, because, that's Daddy. They laughed. And I said, well, what are you laughing at? Oh, no, it's just fun to hear you talk. Anyway, I remember this talk. Driving down Merrill Road, and there's the tennis courts. I said, oh, and Dad, Father, that's where I play tennis. Now, you know what? I can't find any guys that play good tennis. And that's when they laughed again. So I would just say, I find tennis players. That's how I did it. Daddy said, well, who did you play with? Oh, you can pick up a game, Dad, anywhere. And you always, Dad, make sure they have the balls, because it gets expensive if I'm playing with my balls and having to buy more balls. So I always had these. They said this. I'm thinking they're wanting to know this is a life, and of course I was 16 years old, driver's license and everything. This is a 16-year-old's life. This is what she does in her. So I was happy to do that. So now I know the story about Daddy having these, but no, he didn't know he's going to have a heart attack. That's the other thing. But I was Daddy's private trainer. So, all right, that's going to be it for today. But I hope I have some some suggestions of your life with this talk that I had today, because I thought of some things like that. And I thank you so much for listening to me. And what do they say? How do you end something? Go enjoy your life. And God's blessings on